Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Liga Europe here in Division 5 for round number 12 of the Championship here in Season 6. We go racing tonight at the Temple of Speed. It is time for the Italian Grand Prix here in Monza. I am Ivor Bryn Mike, and finally, PlayStation has actually allowed me to actually stream. I know, I'm just as shocked as you guys are. But I have been joined in the commentary box tonight by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. RJDW. How are you doing, RJ, mate?
I'm doing very good. It's weird to be back on the F1 side of things. They're doing F2 and endurance, but the actual F1 leagues, it's been a very long time, and I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, a couple of names that you would remember from way back in the day. The man, the myth, the legend. He's currently in 15th. It is Sir Ibo, and we all love Ibo. We all want him to win tonight, and I personally, he's gonna win. He's getting the Grand Slam tonight. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's gonna absolutely dominate, and it's the experience just shows when he drives these cars. No one can beat him if he actually try. If he wanted to beat everyone, he would beat everyone. But he's just such a nice guy that he gives other people the spotlight.
If Ibo wanted to, he could beat Division 1, beating Montana. And just saying, like, Montana, you need to watch out, but Ibo's coming for you.
Exactly. Who else is it? Who is in it? Lars, I know. Obviously, Lars is leading the championship. I know him from F2. Very, very decent driver in F2. Who else? Serial killer, Jav. There's loads of names from here. A lot of people that have been here since the start, actually. Ibo, Emperor Rub. I know them from the league before. I can't remember if I'm allowed to say it or not.
We'll try and avoid it, but while we're on board with Harry for should be a very entertaining flying lap as he runs down into the first chicane of 1 and 2. Honestly, the new kind of remodeling to the track it takes away the ability to go over some of these curbs and the chicanes. How have you also managed to kind of get out of the groove of going over those curbs?
It is. I don't think it's hard in a way to avoid the curbs. I think it's actually easier to avoid the curbs because you could kind of get the line wrong anyway and hit the curb and you'd go flying anyway. But now it just makes it impossible to do that line anyway. So I think it makes being consistent around here actually a bit easier. But when it is ingrained in your head, you've got to brake at this point, to turn at this point, it is very difficult to change that. And yeah, it's you need to have done quite a bit of practice to actually change that. So it will show when people actually go over those curves during the race.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got Harry F now coming through Parabolica, and yeah, it definitely took me a while. I still, like, when it comes to me, as Harry sets the provisional lap time of 21.7, immediately beaten by his teammate Ryan Belshaw. Like, for me, it's just instinct to at least go over the curb in turn 1, and in the turn 5, the first left-hander in terms of the second chicane. It's just instinct for me. I've done it for so many years on the F1 games. It's natural now.
Yeah, that second chicane really is the killer in terms of the curb changes. And the first one you've got to completely avoid it. The second one you can kind of use, but I think it's probably easier to be caught out by that second one. Just depending on how you take it, you just clip it at the wrong angle and you are going to go into the wall. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, it's definitely a change in mindset for how you take the curbs, but it's one that once you've got used to it, it should be completely fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're going to look at the championship standings right now. Lars currently leading the way, a man you're familiar with in Formula 2. leading the way on 189 points. It's been a good midpoint of the season, I'd say, for Lars. He's picked up a fair few wins, a couple of second places, decent amount of podiums this season. I think he's only been off it 3 times this season, off the podium.
Yeah, very, very strong. So he had that shaky race at the start. I don't know. I'll be honest, I haven't watched any Division 5 so far. But from the looks of it, not particularly great race in Bahrain. I think that's the 6th position. But then from there, excluding France and Hungary, he's been on the podium at every race. So and four wins from 11 races is very strong. So at the moment, it looks that way. It does look like the top 2 have kind of pulled away, and it's just about who can be the most consistent for the rest of the season now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the top 2, so we're going to have a little look at the guy in second place, and he is second at the moment provisionally, as we got Jav crossing line goes up into P4. Stevo currently in second place on 143 points. Good second place for him last time out in Belgium. Obviously, a big result with also 3rd place Ryan Belshaw and 4th place Flip Namzaram crashing out and DNF in that race, and they are 3rd and 4th on 110 points for Ryan and 104 for Flip. Aledi in 5th on 88 points. Then tied on 73 points we have Swip and Harry F. Serial Killer on 60 points. 45 points for ERS Major. Jav, who came in as a reserve at the start of the season, been given a full-time seat now, in 10th on 35 points. 32 points for Marcy. 25 for Ghost, who I believe is a reserve. That he is Bellin in 13th on 14 points. Then we got Jess on 13 points in 14th. Don, who is a reserve but also here tonight, and a former champion here in LOE. He won Division 4 back in Season 4, so it's good to see, like, when it comes to the pace now, he's done 2 races. His first race he got 4th, second race he unfortunately DNF, but he's still got the pace, Don does.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, but I do think, especially I've just seen he's on a wheel. I don't think you never really lose the pace on a wheel. Maybe on a controller it's a bit more difficult to pick it back up. But if you've got the basics on a wheel, the pace should always be there. And he's proved with that 4th place that he got in Russia that he can still do it.
Yeah, absolutely, and he'll be looking for a good result here tonight. Behind Don in the championship, we got Emperor Rub on 10 points in 16th place. Joseph on 8 points in 17th. Frento and Lixu are both on 5 points apiece. Then we got Reich and Ben Scott both on 3 points apiece. And 2 points apiece then for Ibo and F1 Mason, and Royal Council and Smitsky, the only 2 drivers who haven't scored a point, but Smitsky has yet to race here in LOE this season, so that is the reason why he hasn't scored a point. And former Constructors champion in Smitsky, and honestly, looking at the 18 drivers we got here tonight, I mean, Lars yet to set a lap time. We got Stevo, who's coming into a Ascari and is purple in the middle sector, as there we go, Lars chucking it up on provisional pole with a 20.7, a very good lap from Lars indeed, that is. We're going to see if Steve-O can match as he comes down into Parabolica. 5th gear, short shift into 6th, 7th, now into 8th. To the line comes Steve-O. Is it going to be provisional pole? No, it's not. It is a 3/10 improvement, but it only improves him up into 3rd place.
A very good final sector there. Must have absolutely nailed Ascari. Really to go purple in the final sector. Couple temps off P1. These times are they're actually coming down fairly quick. We're reaching. Well, the pace is at the top is quite good. It's probably back end of D3 pace at the moment. So these guys are definitely. You might be watching D5. It definitely no slouches in this league at all. All of these guys are absolutely rapid, and there you go, Lars nearly 2 temps out in front at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you were saying, like there's no slouches. I mean, the one thing I will say about LOE this season, there are so many drivers that can be interchangeable between like different divisions. Obviously, some at the top end, and obviously some at the bottom end, interchanging with the division above or division below. Definitely, we do see a more competitive set of divisions this season relative to the other divisions around them.
Yeah, definitely. I have it every week. A lot of the D4 people, just the pace I see beforehand, it makes me feel really slow. And I know I'm not. Yeah, I am. I'm alright, but the D4 guys are they're up there as well. And you're in D4, but you're that quick. It is ridiculous the talent that is in throughout all the divisions in LoE this season.
Yeah, absolutely. As I'm currently on board with Don as Aleti improves there with a 20.5, and I'm not gonna lie, that is the same lap time as what I done in Division 4, and
Quicker
I
than me.
believe I started 5th or 6th, something around there. So we're approaching like top end D4 pace by here.
Yeah, that was a quicker lap time than I managed. Was I in my first run, but it's still quicker. So that would be a very decent time on the D3 grid as well.
As we got Don 2 times up as he comes through Ascari, very cautious through Ascari, didn't really attack it. And obviously with this track, I feel like you can't really attack the first 2 chicanes anymore. You really need to attack the Lesmos and obviously Ascari now to really make up the time.
With Ascari, I don't know if you really need to attack the curbs, but you definitely need to on entry to Ascari. That curb you need to attack. The other two you don't need to, but if you can find a line that doesn't cause to slide at the rear, go for it. Lesmos, you need to be straight into that apex on the throttle as early as possible. Those are two of the most crucial corners on this track, and they always have been. That middle sector is always, in qualifying, always the key sector to who can get pole.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is good to see all clear skies out here in Division 5 as well. And hopefully we'll be treated to clear skies in the race as well, and don't have the most boring race ever at Monza like what we had in Division 4. It was brutally dull. But yeah, hopefully it remains dry going into the race, and we'll see some overtakes happen, a bit of battling maybe.
Yeah, to be brutally honest, it is kind of the DRS these days that makes this track quite entertaining in the race. And in the wet, you completely lose that. It's so difficult to stay with someone in the wet at a normal track, but a track where it's just straight lines, you need the slipstream, you can't really get it. It kind of just kills what could have been a fantastic race. But the dry round here just brings up some ridiculous results. You could start last, you could win. You could start first, and you find your way fighting through from about 15th because of a safety car. It just throws everything up in the air in a split second.
Yeah, and I have just been informed in the DMs that it is a very special day for one of the drivers here in Division 5. It is Jav's birthday, so I think obviously we all wish him a very happy birthday, and hopefully this will be a very good race to cap off his birthday for him.
Absolutely. Nothing more to add on that. Hopefully he has a very good. Well, hopefully he's had a very good day. Hopefully he has a very good race to finish it off.
Yeah, absolutely. As I'm on board with Ghost Recon, getting a little bit tail happy on the exit of Lesmo 2. DRS wide open now on the run down into Ascaria. See what his middle sector's like. He's 2 tenths off, and to be honest, it's one of those where you might just want to back out, and I think he has actually backed out, and he's going to go again, warming up the tyres, and 3 laps on those softs. I mean, if you got a fresh set, box and chuck a new set on Ghost. That's what you need to do. But he is going to continue on, and I see strategy around here in the dry. It's always been a soft medium, but see in D5 we do see some people vary in strategy. We do see some hard tires come into play. We do see some strange strategies that do get picked up on by other drivers that also come in to commentate. Would you just say simple, soft, medium, soft?
Well, yeah, pretty much every track is a soft medium, which has caught me out quite a few times already this season. Didn't realise how easy it actually is to do that. I commend anyone that uses the hards, because they are normally horrible to drive as well. And actually, the difference between mediums and hards isn't always that much in terms of actually wear on the tyres. So I don't think it's ever beneficial to touch the hards, but I commend anyone that actually tries it. There's certain circumstances, if you break your wing on lap 1 and the tyre wear at a track is fairly high, let's say Brazil or something like that, then hards might be the way, but still you try and get on the mediums and see how long you can take them, because they are just that much better.
Yeah, and I think like that's the only time where the hards really need to come out is if you have to pit lap 1 and you're not confident in a safety car coming out to save your race. Like the hards to the end then does become your only option. But we'll see, as we got Ryan Belshaw jumping up into 6th place. But I mean, Ibo does like to go for these kind of strategies. I mean, he'll go out there on a set of intermediates if he's feeling it. Like, and honestly, like, I think I'm going to start my own drinking game with the amount of times I say honestly. I'm not going to lie, but I struggle to speak English sometimes. Sorry guys, I am Welsh.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not the first language.
Technically it is, but I don't like it. But
we'll ignore that, will we?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got 30 seconds remaining in the session, and believe we'll have an Aston Martin being the first one to actually set a time. He's got a Ferrari in behind him, who I believe that could be a Lady or Ghost, and it is Ghost Recon. He's going to get a nice little slipstream from Swip as we come through Parabolica. But here, just where you get a little bit of dirty air, we'll just compromise him a bit, and in fact he's going to peel off into the pits. Swip does improve, getting himself up into 12th as we got Ryan Belshaw now peeling off into the pits. Got Jav's teammate Ebo to the line. He's peeling off into the pits. Anyone on a tidy flying lap? We got Lynx to the line. He's in the pits as well. Guys, come on, this is the end of qualifying. Give us a show. As we got Jess, who is 4 tenths up to the line. Improves by 2 tenths, but no position gained. As believe we got Lars next to the line through Parabolica. See what Lars is going to do. Is he going to be on pole position? No, he does improve by nearly a 10th, but as a Lady actually improves the time even further there. And Flip's not going to improve. He's behind Jav, and Jav 2 tenths up in the middle sector, but I think he's he's aborted this lap and he is out of it. So not the really fast and chaotic end to qualifying that we have been used to with the times tumbling down. But it is a Lady on pole position with Lynx alongside. Lars in 4th place, the championship leader, and would you say that's a bit of a nice spot to be in, 4th or 3rd, like on the 2nd row? Because obviously the slipstream down into turn 1 is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think the first two rows are exactly where you want to be. Um, Further back than that, and the front two are going to break where they break, like normally. The next two are going to break a little bit earlier, so anyone behind that is trying to judge how early to break, and that's where it becomes a bit messy. So Lars, it's not pole, but it's fourth. It's still a very decent position to be in, and obviously the points are given out in the race and not for qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to run you through the order one more time. So with a 20.505, it is Already on pole position with Lynx alongside. Flipnam Zaram in third with Lars in fourth, just over a tenth separating the top four. Ghost Recon in fifth with Ryan Belshot in sixth, Stevo in seventh, Don Steeringwheel in eighth, Harry F in ninth, and Jav on his birthday rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 with free choice of tire compound, we have ERS Major, Swip, Serial Killer, Frento, Jess Games, Ibo, Reich, and Emperor Rub rounding out the rest of the grid. And here we go. This is where we're going to see what the race is going to be like. What are you hoping for? Dry, wet, changeable?
I don't want to say anything in case it does the opposite. I want dry. There we go. Timed that perfectly.
That you did. I always, when I see this screen, I always think that it's quite a bit of cloud cover just because of what the sky actually looks like. It does look a little bit grey, doesn't it?
I don't know. That looks quite. That looks probably as dry as you could get. So sunny as you could get. That's pretty much what we had for the whole of D3. And yeah, there was probably the icon said sun with a bit of cloud, but it doesn't make that much difference. So what we do know is it's going to be dry at the start. For how long, who knows? But it looks like it could hold out the whole way through.
Yep, absolutely. It definitely could. And we just saw the predicted tyre strategy. Lap 10, the pit onto the mediums. And I think that's about right, isn't it? Lap 10?
The undercut around here is fair. It's all right. It's probably 2/10 of that. Maybe a bit more. But I was definitely, you could probably pit as early as lap 6. And the tyres will hold up. They will definitely hold up. Softs can do probably 15-ish laps so mediums will go well past 20. So you could probably pit around lap 6 and be completely fine to the end.
So we're going to see who will really listen to you in terms of strategy. I can't really offer any good strategy here as Division 4 was full intermediate conditions. So I'm completely in the dark. Ever since the new updates and came out for the game, not really driven Monza at all, and it was intermediate in D4. But looking at the tyre selection outside the top 10, we got ERS Major on the medium, Swip and Serial Killer on the softs, Frento and Jess on the mediums, Ibo and Reich on the softs, and Emperor Rub all the way at the back, who is not only all the way at the back, he's still in a Ascari, on the medium compound tyres. And it's promising to see a nice little balance of the mediums and softs outside the top 10, because that's going to make things interesting to see if these soft runners can come through and if the medium runners can stick with the top 10.
Yeah, the soft outside the top 10 is always interesting around here, because I think most people do it in case they crash, so they can go onto the mediums. But I think you just have to take the risk at times, and the medium runners are going to be well placed if they don't get caught up in anything.
Yeah, as we wait for race to get underway. I've been given a terrible camera angle. There we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway here for round number 12, and it's a very good start for Flip Namzaram. He's going to look around the outside of Aledi. They're free wide into turn one, the top three, and hopefully someone backs out. Oh, what is that going on the side? I just saw two cars go absolutely flying at a distance.
That was Ghost Recon and Stevo, I think, just got stuck to each other as they went through into the braking zone, pushed each other onto the grass, and they both went off. Stevo picks up a penalty as Aledi holds this lead. Flip and Ryan going side by side into the second chicane, and Flip
Lars touches the back of him, and he's had a little bit of a wiggle on the exit now, and that's allowed Harry to slow down enough for Don's having a little look at him now. But Harry holds on to P6. Yeah, very interesting one for turn one. It definitely looked like the two cars were latched onto each other, but yeah, I mean, very strange indeed, as we got Aledi trying to break clear already from Lynx and Flip. Flip getting a little bit onto the exit curb, and you don't want to be doing that too often, as the penalties can definitely ruin your race around here. As we got Frento over the back of ERS Major, battle between the two medium compound runners, and Frento's already out of ERS deployment. Like, I personally don't like to use like that much ERS in the first lap as Ghost is into the pits.
Yeah, it's ERS is so difficult to manage around here, because if you don't use it, you're just going to get breezed past as Emperor Rub goes past. I don't know how to say that. Right? Yay.
I just call him Reich.
Rick. That probably would work better. Yeah. Yeah. Emperor Rub just flying past on the straight into P14. Actually, I think so. We now have Lars up behind Ryan. I don't know if he just got past Harry, or I'm imagining that.
I think Lars and Ryan were side by side in the first two corners, or Ryan's made a small mistake that's allowed Lars to go onto the back of him, but these guys have now got a little bit of a train going all the way down to P9 with Swip, so it's just going to get a little bit spicy. Obviously, Lars the championship leader. Ryan at one point was the championship leader, and he wants to get back to winning ways once again, but he needs to really start putting the pressure on Lars if he wants any chance of getting back in this championship hunt.
Yeah, and what they've all done, well, most of them, most of them have done, is keep their noses clean. I haven't seen any damage except from Ghost and Stevo, so on, and we now have DRS enabled, so this is where battles will truly start. Really, the battles at Monza don't start until the last lap. If you stay with each, you try and stay within the DRS, and then it all kicks off on the last lap. But here we are. Aledi's got a nice gap for the lead, and now Lars all over trying to get on the back of Ryan for P4.
I was a little bit excited, and I saw Ibo side by side with Frento, and as soon as I got on board with him, yeah, he had gone away. But Swip has, I think, had a bit of an off somewhere. He must have touched one of the curbs in the second chicane, as he's still got a front wing intact. It appears so, but you never know on this game, as Lynx and Flip are side by side, and Flip gets the move done and gets himself up into second place. Ryan now all over the back of the McLaren driver, and these guys are already almost out of the ERS.
That is very extreme on the ERS usage. That's what, they're under 10% already. That is in 3 laps. That is going to be very hard for them to do the rest of the race without much ERS, as Flip looks for a move into turn 1, and actually Ryan goes for it with Lix and gets the run on the exit of turn 2. On the inside, it's so on the outside of turn 2. It's so easy to get the pedal down earlier. Just get good traction, and he looks like he's going to hold this. Lix is going to look to the inside though. It's second chicane, and they're going to get through. Lix goes through back into third. They guys keep it clean.
Ryan's down the inside again into Lesmo 1. This is great stuff. I'm on board with Lars looking at this battle unfold, and Lars definitely looks like he wants to try and get involved in this scrap. As he is now using his ERS, he's actually going to pull to the inside, and oh no, not free wide dip. Yeah, smart stuff from Lars, but that has put him under pressure now from Don, who gets a little bit squeezed out onto the curb. And these guys battling tooth and nail for P4 right now, and it's fantastic to see. Oh, sorry, P3.
And what it has allowed to do is the two in the lead get away, as we're going to probably see a change in the leadership of this race, flip all over the back of Aledi here at the start of lap 5, but we also have this ridiculous battle for P3, 4-car battle, and this could end up with Lars in the lead of this. He lifts off a little bit, he's up the inside of Lix as Ryan gets through into P3. Lix is going to squeeze Lars out, and Lars actually half spins, kicks the tail out, and Don gets through into P5. So Ryan makes a move as Aledi and Flip are side by side down into the second chicane, and Aledi's going to hold off from the Aston Martin driver and keeps the lead of this race for at least a few more corners.
Yeah, absolutely, and also looking at the ERS on these two guys as well, 60 and 70% respectively. Then you look at the guys behind them. Obviously Ryan on 20%, 30, almost 40% for Lix, 50 for Don, and 40 for Lars. Jav also getting himself into this trade now because of their battling up ahead, and he is currently sat on about 50% also.
Jav's done a very good job to get back into this. Obviously,
it's Don and Lix side by side going into Parabolica. Sorry to cut in as they wheel to wheel into Parabolica. Who's going to have to bet a run? And it looks like Don's going to have to bet a run, but Lix will have an opportunity to come right back at him, as Don's going to look to make the move on Ryan, and he should have this done pretty easy. Up ahead we see Flip and Aledi going at it into turn 1. Don up in the third, as Ryan's been tapped from behind by, I believe, Lynx, and absolute carnage as Lynx is around. Ryan's gone into the back of Don. I think he might have picked up wing damage from it, and yeah, I mean, as you were saying earlier, it's so easy to just outbreak yourself slightly when you're following someone, and we just seen what happens right there, first-hand experience from it.
Yeah, I think I was watching it from an off-board shot. I think Lix just on the brakes kind of moved out last second, and it's probably, he's probably wobbled a little bit under the brakes, and it's not stopped. He's gone flying over the curbs, and just Ryan's very unfortunate there to get caught up in that one. Luckily, no one else really got caught up in it, but yeah, that's very unfortunate for that battle. As Aledi did once again hold off Flip, but they're going to have DRS yet again as they come down the main straight.
Now, if you was Flip, at what point do you start thinking about the undercut? Obviously, seeing Aledi come back at you every single lap, the undercut's got to be going through his mind right now.
If I was Flip, I would pit this lap. Because then it stops Aledi.
So you think this lap for Flip?
I do.
And as I mentioned earlier, with the sometimes the tyre calls, Ryan going for a set of the hards and Lynx on the set of the mediums. So you mentioned lap 6, you can probably get to the end on the mediums. We're going to see the difference now with we'll see Harry F also on the hards. He's going to jump Lynx. But now obviously we're going to see the mediums versus the hards, and what they're going to be like late race as well. As we got Emperor Rub getting past ERS Major, the teammates going side by side. Haas don't really have a brilliant reputation when it comes to battling with each other, as we got right directly behind as well. He's going to be looking for an opportunity, and he's just going to cruise straight on past Emperor Rub. Oh no, he's not. Emperor with a good second phase for that DRS as right just touches the back. Ibo's up in P9. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention as Aledi gets through once again on Flip, as we've got Serial Killer and Swift moving up the order because Jav is into the pits, and a pretty smart call from Jav, I think.
This is a man that's been reading up on his strategies. Has gone onto the medium compound tyres, so he should be fine to the end. But what he doesn't want now is a safety car, because that could completely shut down his strategy. But yeah, that's a very good call. He was kind of at the back of the queue of that lead group of cars, and needed to do something to try and get through. As I think we have someone off. I think that was Rick in the Mercedes.
Rick was off, and obviously now for Lars and Don, they need to respond to Jav. They have to come in this lap.
Yeah, precisely, and it'll be interesting if one of them does stay. I could see Lars potentially staying out and trying just do the opposite of what Don does, which wouldn't be a bad call if he has the pace to pull away. If he can just get in that clean air, it might really help him as he looks down the inside. I don't think either of the leaders have come in yet, so they're staying out.
Into the pits.
Again, and there we go. He does the opposite of Don, and the championship leader comes into the pits on lap 8.
Yep, as we got a Flip once again getting through on Aledi. And I don't think this time Aledi's going to have the traction to really fight back now going into the second chicane, but he does appear to have a bit of more of a quicker car in a straight line, so I think that's definitely helping Aledi in this battle.
Exactly what you need around this track as well, as Lars comes out the pits side by side with his teammate, and I think his teammate's actually going to back off and let him through. So Lars comes out in 11th, about 1.5 seconds up the road from Jav, so that was a good call. And can he undercut Red Bull of Don now to try and get this third place, as Don has just gone off slightly at the second Lesmo? That might cost him any chance of trying to hold this position.
Yeah, absolutely, and see, Don at this moment, this is where he really couldn't afford any mistakes now on his in-lap. So I presume he'll be pitting this lap to respond to Lars, as Jav's managed to get through on Reich, so he's now up as Lars gets through on Jess. Yep, Don's in. The top two stay out once again, and Don gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that's going to make things a lot easier now for Lars.
Yeah, obviously he won't have to serve that until the end of the race, and he is actually changing his front wing, Don. So he's going to come out well behind, should come out behind Jav, but he's had to change his front wing. I don't know. I didn't know if he had damage beforehand or if that was just an accident. I don't know why you change it if you didn't have damage. So must have had
they wouldn't
some
change
sort
it.
of damage. It's out in 14th.
They wouldn't change it if he didn't have damage. Obviously, visually, like for us, it doesn't appear like he had damage, but you know, sometimes Codemasters doesn't want to show the spectators the damage that a driver has, but sometimes the driver does have the damage. As we got a Flip all over the back of a lady, and honestly, I think this is crucial for Flip. I'd be using my ERS to get ahead of a lady now going into the pit lane.
Yeah, they've stayed out quite a few laps longer than I thought they would. I think the leaders normally, you got to be the first one to call it, and I think Aledi is going to head in this time, and he does, and Flip does the opposite. So this is crucial for Flip if he wants to stay out in the lead of this race.
Harry F's around. It's on the exit of the first Lesmo, and Harry F gets going again. Yellow flag, as I believe we got Jav. Oh no, the birthday boy is out in a Scari, and it's a full course safety car, and that has actually just been a big brain there from Flip, staying out, thinking the safety car would possibly come out. That was very big brain.
The loss under the safety car, I'm going to remember, it's about 18 seconds. So actually, for both Aston Martins here, they're going to benefit massively from this. Flip should come out in the lead, and if they decide to double stack, I think they've got more than enough of a margin. Swip could come out in about 5th still, so this is perfect for them, and this is just thrown the battle for the lead on its head completely, as Lars is now the next car behind Aledi as well, so he's well and truly in this fight for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. As I'm just showing everyone watching the gap between the leaders down, and it is about 25 seconds between Flip and Aledi, but obviously Flip definitely going to be able to come out ahead of Aledi here. The question is, where will Swip come out? So I believe he's probably going to come out directly behind Lars, I'd say.
It's going to be close between him and Serial Killer, I think. I think the gap between... I think he's either... Oh! Now, this must be a visual thing. Okay. Flip got stuck in the pit box, but it's... I keep forgetting that is a thing in this game. But
well,
yeah, Swip should come out somewhere between Lars and Don, I would have thought. It's going to be close either way, as the Red Bull's actually coming down the pit straight right now. He might just actually come out behind Don. It's going to be really close on exit. As they're gonna... Don's coming... No, and Swip is well ahead, so Swip comes out in 5th place. Really good... Well, really well done from Aston Martin to get, well, P1 and P5 now.
Yeah, and this is a big relief, not only for Ryan as well, who obviously had that incident with Licks earlier, which dropped them both down the order. This kind of throws a lifeline to those two drivers, but also for Steve-O as well, who got into that contact at the start of the race. He's been driving around on his own ever since, and now he has a bit of a lifeline and he can try and get himself up the order and into the points, and he really does need to, being the man second in the championship. Obviously with Flip being up there right now as the race leader, it is going to be difficult for Steve-O to gain enough points if the safety car didn't have come out.
Yeah, it's fantastic for those guys. They've obviously got still a bit of work to do to get back into the points, with 12th place being just the 1 point, and it's not going to make it for Steve, especially. It's not going to... Oh, actually, we've had a spinner. That is Don, just spun under the safety car, coming out of Ascari, and he's hit the wall and lost part of his front wing. That is a really costly error. Yeah, that's... He was very aggressive on the weaving coming out of the corner, and he's just gone all the way around, and I think he's probably gonna have to come back into the pits.
Yeah,
he does. That is very costly. So he was sat in... Where was he?
He'll be last, though.
6th? That is costly.
Yeah, he goes from 6th all the way down to 17th now, does Don, and he does have to serve that 5-second time penalty now. So, I mean, at least he's got that out of the way, but it's definitely setting back massively in this race now.
Yeah, that's one of those mistakes you look back on and you go, did I really need to be that aggressive on the weaving? It's obviously tyre warm up is very important, but you need to have control of your car. You need to have a full car over warm, like perfect warm tyres. Because the tyres are going to warm up after 1 or 2 laps of racing anyway, so that is a big risk, and it's really not paid off for him, and he's going to be right at the back now for this safety car restart.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, Ibo, up in 8th right now, he's got 2 hard runners in front of him. He's on the mediums.
The last to first challenge is still on.
I mean, Ibo on those tyres definitely could get the jump on Frento at least. Ryan, I'm not too sure about, but as Emperor, I guess a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Emperor's a guy that I'm very worried about in terms of where he is right now, because racing him here last season, The guy loves his straight line speeders. We are going to get going now. Safety car very late call to come into the into the pits, and we're going to get back underway. Flip gets the jump on already. But yeah, Emperor likes to burn everything to make sure he stays ahead, as we got Lynx and Ibo side by side. Ibo, don't give up. Keep it on the inside, lad. Down at turn 1. Nope, he's backed out.
Oh, he's still going around the outside actually. As Lix has just picked it up. I think he just picked up that area. Well, unless I'm completely going blind. No, he did have that before. Yep, ignore that. But Ibo did have a fair crack at it around the outside of turn 2. But he does back out in the end, and they all pretty much held position of that safety car restart.
Yeah, as Serial Killer has managed to get past Lars, so Serial Killer up into the podium position. Lars down the order as Don is around again. I think he's collected Jess, or they've made contact as well.
Yeah, I just saw that one in the background, the Red Bull go spinning off, so I think one of them's hit the curbs and just kind of, they're probably side by side. So, yeah, that's more work for Don to do. Some costly errors in this one so far.
Yeah, absolutely, as Flip now really needs to be trying to pull away from Ledy, but the thing is, both of them are pulling away from Serial Killer, who's already out of deployment, and he's dropped out that 1 second window because of it.
Yeah, man, it just these two at the front to have just the class of the field so far in this race. They managed to get clear in the first stint before the safety car, and they managed to just about get clear after 1 lap of racing on after the safety car. So these guys are in a battle right to the end. I have no doubt about that, and it'll be very intriguing to see which one can actually come out on top at the end, because these guys have just bossed this race so far.
Yeah, and obviously for this man, Serial Killer, just seeing how many positions he's up, and oh no, Ibo dropping down the order. He's heading off somewhere. I was going to say Serial Killer up 10 positions, and it's been a very good race from Serial Killer right now. We've gone a bit under the radar, but he's definitely shown he's got some good pace here as well.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job actually. I did see it during the safety car. Him and Swip have climbed so many positions, and actually Frento as well behind. He's up 7 as well. They've done a fantastic job. Serial Killer was well up before the safety car as well, so I think he was probably in a provisional P4 or 5 before the safety car came out, and obviously the Astons have still jumped up the order. But he did a fantastic job from 13th to be on the podium halfway through this race is ridiculously good.
The only critique I could actually say for Serial Killer is obviously with the ERS usage, because he's got absolutely nothing as Emperor Rub is around, and he's dropping down the order now. Yeah, for Serial Killer, he's trying to catch up to these guys who have 40, well, nearly 50%, and he's on 10%. He's going to struggle, but he is absolutely throwing everything into it to try and get in that DRS window. But
yeah, the ERS is always a weird one. You've got to, I think, and you've got to completely ignore what other people do when you're managing your ERS. You've got to just focus your pace, no one else's, and if they start pulling away from you.
That's big Flip with the 3-second time penalty. That is massive right now for Aledi and for Serial Killer and Lars.
Yeah, absolutely massive. And Flip, the first one to go there, I wouldn't say, well, first one of the lead group to go there, wouldn't say he's going to be the last. I don't know what warnings look like at the moment. But as he's going to retake the lead this time around. Aledi got nothing to fight him with, and Flip goes straight back to first. As we have any movement, I think the McLarens have just swapped places for P7 as well.
Yep, and Lynx definitely needed that. Steve-O, after that restart, has managed to get himself up into the top 10, so it's been a good first couple of laps for Steve-O as well. and he's going to be trying to get onto the back of Frento and trying to get himself up into 8th. Can he catch up to the back of Lynx as well? I mean, time will tell. He is on 4-lap fresher tyres, and obviously you got rain on those hards, and they are the slower tyre compared to Steve-O's medium. So it's going to be interesting to see how Steve-O can get himself up the order.
Yeah, Steve-O just needs to keep it clean and see what points he can pick up for the rest of the race. Obviously, you're looking at turn 1. To say he'd get points at the end of this race is a feat in itself. So if he can just not pick up any more penalties, and well, he's got 6 seconds right now. That is most of the field. Major has retired at the exit of Ascari. I don't know if we're going to get full course safety car for this. I think we might just avoid it.
Yeah, I think we could. Doesn't appear. I mean, it looks like his AI is still going, so that's a weird one. He definitely crashed out, didn't he? He didn't just retire as soon as he lost the car, and his AI is just driving down the road.
I have no idea. You would hope not. I don't know what the rules against that are, but hopefully it is just crashed out. It's unfortunate that it's crashed out, but we avoided the safety car because we've got a cracking race going on here. I think the safety car would have. I don't know what it would have done to this race, but the top two still side by side.
I think that was a bit of a mistake from Flip, and he's got off track again, and that's going to be another warning for the Aston Martin driver.
I think Aleddi's under control. He's got the gap behind him. He's not extending or cutting anywhere. He's just keeping it clean. And you know, if he does that from here to the end, I don't think the guys behind are really gonna. You need the DRS to get close, and if you haven't got DRS, you've got no real chance of getting close. As long as he keeps it clean, he should have this win. What a win it'll be! Fastest in qualifying and in the race. These two have just been a class above, but he's kept it on the track more times than Phipps.
So Steve-O now up into 7th place. He's got past both of the McLarens, and now we can go hunting after Ryan Belshaw. We did mention it, I believe, about 2 laps ago. We'll see how far up the order he can get. He does have 6 seconds, but obviously links with that 3 second. It means he only needs to pull out 3 seconds if he can. So that's going to be the goal for Steve-O, try and consolidate this P7.
Good right now. Can't quite remember where he was in qualifying. I can have a look now. He actually started in P7, so he's got back to where he started. Obviously, with the penalties, he's got to do a bit more work to keep that position. But his pace is very good since the safety car, and he's got himself up from P17 to P7. So he's on a charge, and he can well and truly probably fifth. I wouldn't put fifth out the. I wouldn't say he's out of range of getting top 5, even with the penalties. But he's going to have to drive probably the best laps of the season to get there.
We're going to see if Lars can get the move done on Cyril. He's going to look at the outside for turn 1. And he almost got Hamilton Verstappen there on that curb. He backed out of it though and didn't go flying over the Red Bull. I just noticed there's a Mercedes and a Red Bull as well. That could have been very awkward. But the other way around, of course. As you go Swift now, I'm knocked down the inside of Lars into the second chicane. Backs out though. And they stay exactly the same. So you look at the 3rd, Lars 4th, and Swift in 5th.
Yeah, this is a very intriguing battle because if you looked at qualifying, I don't know if Cyril had set a representative lap, but you'd think Lars would be well ahead right now, but race completely changes things. Cyril is using pretty much every bit of energy in that car as Lars picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is big as well, because this could be the day where he picks up a massive chunk of points and puts himself even closer towards the championship, but that's not going to help him once. He's only losing 1 position, as it stands, but that could all change in a matter of seconds, as he is going to get a run down the pit straight now. The red light flashing on the Red Bull in front. He's to the back of him. What is Serial Killer going to do? Is he going to try and fight this back with a send down the inside? No, he's not. And Lars is up to P3 now, and he has a chance. Pull away now.
Yeah, he's gone deep though into turn 1. That's compromised him on the exit of turn 2. So it does give Serial Killer a chance to get onto the back end. The issue is for these two is that they've used all their ERS. If Swip can just get a little bit close enough, see that both of their red lights are flashing, Swip could potentially go for a double overtake into turn 1.
Yeah, he's just biding his time behind these guys, and he's in a very, very calm, sensible race so far. Not really risked anything. He had a look at the inside of Lars a couple of laps ago into that second chicane, but he's just staying with him. He's just fallen out of that 1 second window, though. He needs to get back in that, because as soon as you lose the DRS, it's a real pain to get back in it, and he has actually made a mistake through Ascari. It's going to drop him all the way out of DRS range now.
Yeah, speaking of DRS range, Aledi almost dropping Flip out of his DRS, and Flip had to use quite a lot of ERS just to get back within that 1 second, and Lars setting the new fastest lap of the race. Honestly, right now, it does appear that Serial Killer and Lars are using each other to kind of drag themselves closer to Flip, and honestly, for Lars, if he can as actually Serial Killer has actually lost a spot to Swip. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Swip out of nowhere up into P4 now. That's just relieved some of the pressure from Lars. He's now only got a second to build up to keep a hold of a podium. And for Flip as well, he hasn't got to worry now about Lars dragging Swip and Serial Killer now up towards his penalty range.
Yeah, that was a weird one. It's almost like Serial Killer forgot to turn in for turn 2. He lost a few attempts in turn 1. He fell back probably 3 attempts, but then turn 2 he just turn here. By that time, the Aston Martin's up his inside. He has retaken that position into 4th place, but they are now 2 seconds behind, so it's going to be a real big struggle.
And that's big. Ryan's on 3 seconds now, as he's got Steve-O right behind him.
I was about to say, Steve-O was actually pulled out a 7-second gap, or 8 second behind him, as Ghost has actually just spun out of Ascari, managed to keep his tyres intact, but he has damaged his front wing, so that he was up in P8 then, as Steve-O makes a move down the pit straight on Ryan to take P6, so this is a really good recovery so far from Steve-O after the safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve-O, I mean, what could have been if he didn't get caught up in that lap 1 instant? Because he's definitely shown that he probably has the pace to be right here with Flip and Aledi, to be honest, but he's just had a big old recovery drive to do today.
Yeah, no, I still don't know what actually happened at turn 1 after, well, but to actually cause them to go off, but it's very unfortunate, because if he was towards the front right now, this would have been a mental battle for. You probably have Lars involved. You probably keep them involved, and you have a good battle all the way to the end for P1. But as it is, we still have a battle for P1 on track, with Flips just behind Aledi.
Yes, we got Frendo getting out of the way. I think he got overtaken by Harry, and then immediately got out of the way of his teammate, as Don's also got through contact between the two of them, though. And that is Frendo around on the apex of Ascari there, and he's trying to spin his car around. He's not able to get it going. To get it going soon, this could be a safety car. Unfortunately, he's able to get the car going again, but he's definitely picked up wing damage. And now we got Lynx versus Harry F down into turn 1.
Ooh, Steve-O given a 5-second penalty there. Kind of got forced off the road into turn 1 by Ryan. Ryan went up the inside, and Steve-O had to take the shortcut that it's got the what do you call them? I don't know what they call them.
The escape road.
Yeah, but it's not the one you're meant to use. So like the little cut through at turn 1 and 2, go over the speed bumps, whatever you want to call them, and he got a 5-second penalty for that, and that is very harsh because he got forced off there. Really, there's
He
not
may
much
try
you
to
can
get
do
that
right up his
removed.
inside.
If he gets that removed, I mean, he's level on penalties with Ryan right now, so he's got himself up into P6.
Yeah, it was a bizarre one because Ryan went it up his inside. Ryan got a 3-second penalty for the exact same thing, so I'm pretty sure. So it is bizarre and very harsh for Steve because he did a good job defending. As Flip has done the fastest lap of the race, whilst getting overtaken by Aledi. Aledi goes up the inside of turn 1, gets squeezed out in turn 2, and Flip holds the lead, retakes the lead. They've swapped positions so many times I can't remember now.
And honestly, for Aledi right now, I don't see the logic in trying to overtake Flip. So all he's going to do is just bring Lars into the equation. Look how much time Lars has gained because of that little side-by-side battle into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, you just need to keep it clean at this point. Lars is going to close up, but it's whether you can stop him from going for a move. Because if you're battling 2 people, there's a chance you move down to 3rd, the person you're trying to battle goes up to 1st, and then get a big enough of a gap to beat you on the penalties. So he's just got to keep it clean. If he avoids the penalty, he should be fine here. With 2 laps to go this time around.
Yeah, as we come to the end of lap 25, about to start lap 26 of 27. Too late now for a safety car. The only thing that could possibly come out is a VSC, and honestly, we've seen it a few times this season where people have picked up drive-throughs with the VSC. Hopefully we don't see that tonight as Aledi closing up again. Backs out of it though, locks up into turn 1. Doesn't go for the move, but to see how much Lars is able to close up in turns 1 and 2. He closes up by a couple of hundreds this time. Not the half a second he did last time they went side by side in turn 1. So I think Aledi, listening to the stream, is paying attention to what we're saying.
Yeah, and to be fair, the Lars gap keeps growing and then shrinking because they're gaining so much time down the straight. Aledi is in the DRS, and then because he's not going for the move, that's when he loses the time again. But it basically goes back to normal. So Lars isn't able to get on the back of these guys to try and well, the one he's got to try and beat really is Flip, as Ghost has retired from session in the pits. Unfortunately, he won't score any points today, but we still have this battle for the lead. And actually, we now have Steve-O on the back of Swip. I don't think it's going to matter in the long term. Still has those 6 seconds, plus whatever happens with the 5 seconds that he got for that incident with Ryan. But he has a massive chance now to try and get P5 on the road. And his pace has been phenomenal so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's off track there, and Steve-O does pick up a time penalty. And what that does mean now, that even if he does get the 5 second remove, he still needs a 3 second gap to Ryan to make sure he sticks ahead of Ryan here. And the gap is, as Riker's actually retired from the session, that's promoted Ibo into the points. Ibo now in P12, and quite comfortably in P12 as well, I must say. We're on the last lap of the race, and that's actually flown by this final lap. And we're going to see who's going to come out on top here. Aledi's kept it clean on penalties. All he's got to do is just keep a nice cool head going through Ascari, and he should be good to pick up this win here tonight. Flip what could have been if he didn't pick up that penalty, but unfortunately when you run off Ascari as many times as we've seen Flip do tonight, you're going to get caught out with a time penalty eventually.
Yeah, but he's done a fantastic job in terms of the pace, and he's still going to get a great P2 there. But he'll obviously be gutted that he's not going to win. As they come up to the line now for the final time. Flip is going to cross the line in P1, but it is Aledi that's going to win the Italian Grand Prix with Flip in second, and Lars should still hold on to that final Rostrum's position.
Yep, and I think, that final penalty from Steve-O definitely cost him. 3 tenths would have been the difference between 3 tenths was the difference in the end if he manages to get that 5 second removed. Don almost jumps him as well, so Don making a good recovery back up in 8th, Harry F in 9th, Lynx rounding out the top 10. Frento now going to come across the line in 11th. Ibo in a clear 12th place now as Serial Killer has left the session immediately. I think just ERS was Serial Killer's problem. He definitely showed that he had the pace to really get himself up there, but it's just ERS that really let him down. Once he lost all his ERS, he just dropped out of DRS range and just fell into the clutches of everyone behind him.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys were on very low ERS numbers right from the very start. About lap 3 in, they were out of ERS, so it's always a struggle from that point on. But they've done fantastically to get to the end in the positions they got in the end, and Serial Killer particularly to finish 4th. When he was definitely one of the ones that was low early in that race, so he's done a fantastic job to finish 4th.
Yeah, and he does pick up the in-game driver of the day. As we look at the podium there, we got a Letty on the top step with Flip and Lars flanking him on the left and right. And this is big for a Letty to really try and get himself into this battle for 3rd in the championship and maybe even 2nd. Obviously, Steve-O there losing out quite significantly with quite a lot of points dropped. He was the man in the 2nd and he has lost out here, but we'll run you through the order one more time. It is Aledi who takes the win here tonight ahead of Flip Namzaram in 2nd place, Lars in 3rd. Serial Killer comes home in 4th with Swip in 5th, Ryan Belshaw in 6th, Steve-O in 7th, Don in 8th, Harry F in 9th, Lynx rounding out the top 10. Then we got Frento in 11th, and the last point going to Ibo in 12th place. Then out of the points we got Jess Games and Emperor Rub. I believe Reich crashed out, so I think he was the non-finishers along with Ghost, ERS Major, and the birthday boy Jav, who, I mean, at least he got to watch the real life qualifying. That's one positive for Jav.
Yeah, we did kind of jinx him on that one, but he was doing a very good job before he crashed out.
I mean, I'm not going to take any responsibility for any jinxing. He DM'd me saying he wanted a birthday shout out, so it's on him.
That sounds fair, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to try and get the podium in if they want to jump into the interviews? I'm not sure. They might want to quickly rush off to go ahead and watch the rest of qualifying while they got a chance, but let's see if we can get the podium in. Letty, Lars and Flip, if you want to send them an invite.
I am on it, my friend. If I can get their games back. That's bizarre.
As we wait to see if anyone will jump into the podium interviews, want to make sure you guys check out all the other races that have been on tonight here in League of Europe. Of course, we had Division 1, 3 and 4 earlier tonight, and of course we got Division 2 running simultaneously with Division 5 right now. I believe they are still running. I'm not sure. Let me just have a quick look and see. They are still running. I believe they're in the podium interviews also, as we have been joined by the championship leader Lars. And Lars, how was that for you tonight, my friend?
Well, Well, at quali already was not my best ones. I made every lap a little mistakes. So it was not, couldn't get really laps in. And in the race, in the exit of turn 1, I really struggled. Got a lot of wheel spinning every time. But around lap 24, I finally found out how to do it. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, stuck by Circular a long time. Happy that I could drive 3 seconds away from him. So yeah, P3 is all I could do today, I think.
Yeah, and you've been saying for the past couple of weeks now that you don't like this next track, but you are picking up these results, and it's definitely going a long way in the championship. Obviously, next round being Imola. See, a brand new track. We don't know exactly how the racing is going to go at Imola. What are your thoughts on that track going into it next week?
Well, I played it a lot on like F1 2005 or something. So, I think the flow on the track is a lot of fun. It's a good track, some nice corners. Don't really sure it will be for overtaking. So, of course, turn 1 will be a nice one. But I think it will be a good race.
And of course, obviously, with a lot of the championship rivals around you getting caught up in some instance behind, the only ones really gaining on you were Flip and obviously Leddy. Probably best result for you in terms of like who you're looking at in the championship, right? To outscore you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very much looking at Steven and Ryan because they're pretty close. And yeah, I saw Carnage in turn 1 and Steven went off already, so kind of made me a little bit happy because I didn't really have to worry about that. Yeah.
RJ, you got any questions for Lars?
No, just really well done on that race.
Thank you.
Okay, well, massive congratulations on your podium, mate. Hopefully we see you next week in Imola, but go and enjoy your evening and go watch the rest of F1 qualifying when you got a chance.
Thank you for commentating.
No worries, and we move on now to... I don't think Flip has joined the party, has he? I haven't seen him pop up.
No, I don't.
No, he hasn't. So we'll move on to the man who picked up the victory here tonight. It is Aledi. Aledi, a fantastic win tonight. It definitely seemed like you was in a class of yourself with Flip for that entire race. How was that for you?
Hello guys. It was a really fun race. This is my first win, so I'm pretty happy about that. It was like there were like 3 or 4 seasons to get first win, so it's a really great feeling, and it was a really good battle. I mean, I think that we did put on a really good show.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the trading back and forth between you two for the race lead. At the end, obviously, after you picked up his 3-second time penalty, did your mind just immediately go into, right, just keep it clean, keep it conserved now, I don't need to push for this win?
Yes, I didn't want to lose too much ground with Flip, but I was more worried because I think I had like 2 warnings. So when I was fighting, I was more like thinking, okay, let's not get the third one. So I got those 3 seconds. So I was a little bit more cautious. And when I saw that Lars got also a 3-second penalty, I was like really I was like, don't remember the word. I was quiet because I wasn't worried because he was like 3 seconds. Flip also, so I just wanted to get the win, get the points, and not to worry about fighting too much. I have to be honest.
Yeah, and obviously with that win, it does bring you a lot closer to the guys ahead of you, like Ryan, like Flip in the championship, and that's got to be a good goal for you at the moment to really try and close back in on these guys. Obviously, next week though, we are going to the brand new track in Imola. How are you feeling about that track in particular on this game?
I had to practice it, but I do know it because I love it. I really love it because I played it so many games in the past and since I was a kid. So it was always a track that makes me, because it has chicanes, speed corners, really fast corners, and it's like it's a really small track also. So it has all the fun in it.
Fantastic. And RJ, do you have any questions for our race winner here tonight?
No, I just wanted to say I'm actually surprised that that's your first win, because wow, you have been in here for a very long time, and you've always been quick in the divisions you've been in. So really, really well done on your win, man.
Thank you, man, because I really had opportunities to win, but sometimes I got that pressure and I shitted in my pants, and then I couldn't win. I made mistakes, and I knew that someday it will come. So it finally came, so I'm happy. Thanks, man.
I know exactly how you feel on that, Eddie. I absolutely do. But,
okay,
yeah,
guys.
Obviously, a fantastic result tonight. Congrats on the win, your very first win in LOE, and see, go and enjoy the rest of F1 while you got a chance. Go watch qualifying. We're gonna let you go.
Thank you. No, it's Bottas is first and Hamilton is second.
Oh, you spoiled
third.
it. You spoiled it for me.
I'm very sorry, man. And Perez is fourth. So if you thought that Honda was better here, they weren't. Sorry, man.
No?
Okay, I have to go because you're gonna punch me.
I would never resort to violence. That is not the way, but I am bitterly disappointed that I've now been...
Sorry, man. My bad. I have to tell you. I owe you a beer.
Can we have a 5-point deduction for that, please? But yeah, go and enjoy it. Go and
Make
enjoy
it
your evening,
two
mate.
driver license points and for the spoiler.
Absolutely, and fully deserved as well, I think, as well. But,
fair enough.
But yeah, go and enjoy your evening, mate. And obviously, it doesn't look like we're going to get the man who came in second in with us tonight in Flip. So obviously, we turn our attentions now to next week in Imola. RJ, you may not be here commentating next week in Imola, but how do you feel about the circuit in general?
I love this circuit. I absolutely love Imola. I think I don't often say this, but I think Codemasters have done a fantastic job, especially with the two tracks they put in, but especially with Imola. I've heard people complaining about it. Oh, it's impossible to use the curves, but the whole point is you're not meant to use the curves. So yeah, it is a track that it does take quite a lot of skill. I think because it's a new track as well, the skill gap, and who we normally see leading, the skill gap's going to be a bit bigger, but who we see leading could be completely flipped on its head depending on who's driven the track the most. I honestly can't wait for Imola.
Unfortunately, I haven't turned the wheel yet at Imola, so I have no input whatsoever on the circuit in general. But I'm also looking forward just to seeing how everyone's going to cope with the new circuit on the calendar. And it'll be interesting to see who is going to come out on top, especially here in Division 5. But that is going to be next week. And guys, if you have enjoyed Division 5 here tonight, why don't you hit a like, maybe hit the subscribe button to see more League of Europe content, as on Monday we will be going to the F2 cars with the... Nope, not this week, nope.
We have finished now.
Oh, you finished?
Yeah.
I thought it was a long old season. I don't really follow F2 much anymore, but yeah, that shows my my knowledge of F2. But yep, no F2, but we do have LOE and Door this week, if I remember correctly, on Wednesday, which obviously you will be taking us through the action on that also. That will be at China, so Wednesday will be at China for LOE Indoor, and then obviously next Saturday we will be back once again with Division 1, 3 and 4 at 6:34 League of Europe for round number 13 at Imola, Division 1, 3 and 4, and then of course 5 and 2 at 8:10. But until then, guys, I have been Ivor Bryn Mike, he has been RJDW, and we'll see you next time.